Hi all, welcome to channel Code Effectively. Today we are going to study about the type of functions we can use in Swift. So basically we have inout functions. So these are also a type of a functions that help us to do something good around the parameters. As we know that the parameters that we put in the function are of constant type. Okay, it means like they cannot be mutated. So if you have a requirement where you want to change the value of the functions, and if you try to change these values directly, you will get a compile time error like these are the constant type, cannot be changed. So in order to get this work done around, what you can do, you can make your function of inout type. So what you're doing, like your function is of int type, you just need to declare one more keyword in front of it, inout, which makes the compiler understand, okay, we can mutate this function uh, parameters. So what I have done, so these are of now mutable type, we can change their values. Now they are of variable type and they var type, they cannot, they are not constants anymore. So as you can see, like these are my numbers, like a is equals to 3 and b equals to 2. So what I am doing, like I am making a and b, I'm taking in the parameters, and now you can see without declaring another variable, I'm able to change the values or mutate the values of a and b respectively. And we know like this is on not having a return type, basically because whatever the global variables or the variables in the scope of this we have in this class, they will directly change their value. So what basically we are doing, like whenever we are calling this function, like this is here try in and out, what happens, we are making an ampersand here. So what helps, this is nothing we are doing with ampersand over here, it just indicates like this variable is getting its value changed. This indicates ampersand, like the variable has the value that will be changing, we will be mutating the values. So what happens internally is, like if a is having as of now 3 in it, it will copy its value and store it to this variable. Okay, so we are not passing the same reference yet, we are just making like a duplicate of a again, and we are just storing the value and then passing it in the function. And once the calculations are done, this function is executed, whatever the new value we got. So initially it was 3 and a into a, 3 into 3 makes it 9. So whatever new value we got, when this function is executed, it will assign that new value back to the global variable. So what will happen, this 9, and now this 9 will be replaced here, this was my global variable a, to 9, from 3 to 9. So we are not passing the reference. If you have a ideal of reference type, and you might be thinking like here we are just passing the address, and within the address they are storing the same memory. No, it is just basically we are passing the values, we are copying the values, work is done, and then the function is over. We are just again replacing the new value with the existing one. Okay, so this is how our inout is working. So as you can see, when I just called this made function call, and now the value was previously 3 and 2, and after this function call, you can see when I print a and b, here you can see it is 9 and 4 respectively. So previously they were 3 and 2, and their squares makes it 9 and 4. So this is how we are able to do it. So apart from this, like these are known as inout functions. Apart from this, we have Variadic functions. What are Variadic functions? Basically, this is another type of writing an array. So what you know, like previously I can just write func and I can make a function, let's say test. Okay. And here I have an array. I can declare the array as of int type like this. Like this is an array of int type. So instead of doing like this, Swift gives us more advantage and flexibility. With three period or dot, we say in common language, we can indicate like this is an array type only. So what we do, like you can see here, I am calling this function Variadic, and if we would have not been making this function as a Variadic functions, so what we would be doing, we would be calling this function test, and here we would be passing an array, and like this we need to pass the values. But what Variadic functions help us to do, like we do not need to make the square brackets directly, we can just compress these values and send it. So this helps us in more code readability. So this Variadic functions, as you can see, I have printed the values and you got the same values 12, 15, 14 respectively. And you can see these values are of array type. As you can see, the curly braces are square brackets are already there. And here when you are printing the values, I am just extracting the value from the array type and just printing. So here don't go over here, like this is printing the final value what was over here. As you can see in the console, all the values, like I iterate over all the values on the array and I got all the values respectively being printed. So these type of a functions where we do not declare an array type and we compress the array type, so this is known as variadic functions. As the name suggests, I have given the same name. So these are the variadic function type. So these are the two function types we can have. One could be try, like we can have it inout, and another one we can have it simple variadic functions. Apart from this, what we can have over here is, I can just first clean my board, and here what we are doing, another type is we can declare the variable as a function type. So here I was playing with my code, and here you can see that we usually, let's say, put the variable type and we define its type, like what is a data type. We can define the data type also as a function parameter, and what would be this output. As you can see, this is my function that is having same values, int and output as int. So this I can copy and make it again as my variable type also, as a data type. And here you can see I'm calling this sum, and this sum is taking two values. As you can see, it takes two value, int and int. So these two values are being taken. From where they are taken? In this. Okay, and we when print this 2 and 3, we will get the output as 5. Okay, and whatever output we get from this, once we are calling this function will get executed, and once this function is getting executed, it will be stored in sum. And here is how my value is being getting stored in the sum. So basically in this we are calling the function and we are just getting the output and storing in this. So instead of calling this function directly, what we can do, we can call this variable and then we can put the values. So it is just a different way of doing and calling the function. Like you could have been doing here itself, add two ints, and you would be getting the same result, but we are just trying a different way out. So that's it for the video. If you like this video, please go and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.